Hello and welcome back to the Boston Commune. This week's incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Ellie, Sarah, myself, and the debut of Comrade Binx. For news, we talk about big boat penis, Amazon's spray and pray PR strategy, Corona versus Capital, and perverts in politics. I sidestep the Rablibs with some Asian American solidarity. Ellie teaches us some chess moves we can't make up. Scott recommends a fresh take on an old trope. And finally, Comrade Binx brings some bills to the bulletin board. Baby. Please do us a favor. Share this content. Do yourself a favor. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah, let me see the racist Dr. Seuss. I need it for my free speech. It's fifth grade.
Is it a tool of the people, or is it supposed to be privatized and profits privatized and the risk socialized, which is the way that things work generally in the United States? I think it's pretty cool that we have a US-based project that doesn't work like that.
Software, technology.
Very cool.
But then sometimes it fails and we get a fucking boat stuck in a canal.
Oh, that's
What
great.
the fuck, guys?
Boat. Is that the segue into the news?
Yeah, I mean, that's my pathetic attempt of yeah, it is basically. Yeah. So is it out of there yet now at this point? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Well, there was a boat stuck in the Suez Canal,
Big old boat.
Big old fucking boat.
clogging the main artery of capitalism. It's quite a metaphor. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, and you said, right, like Marx even said that was going to happen.
It wasn't actually Marx. It was
It was
Yeah,
Marx.
like I
Like
said, it was
commentary
David
or
Harvey's.
something?
It's David
Okay.
Harvey's commentary on Marx. Yeah. He's using
that
it
makes
as an
more
example.
All right.
It's funny though.
Yeah, it's a better meme if you don't dig into it at all.
True, most memes.
Would it be more impactful if it were the Panama Canal instead of the Suez Canal? I don't know. Just hypotheticals here.
So it's less likely that it would be stuck in the Panama Canal in the same fashion it was stuck in the Suez, but either way, it would be funny. Because again, the systems of capitalism failing around us is always funny. At least I think.
That's a little bit like harsh when it's probably just like one dude who like forgot, and then he was like, "Oh no, boat stuck."
But that's also that's what makes
Yeah,
it,
that's hilarious.
that's what makes it so funny is that
I know.
like one dude like drifted his ship like into a bank and global capitalism collapses for like 2 weeks.
Didn't they also like draw a penis?
Shows how
with, like,
fragile
they're
it is.
like.
Oh, yeah, they did draw a penis.
I'm sorry, I didn't know this detail. What?
She
Well, now
drew
I
a
got it.
penis with the shape of their like travel route.
Check the source there. I'm just going to Google Suez Canal.
Ever given penis.
Suez penis.
Yeah,
Fucking incredible.
it drew a penis in the water. There is no room for, yep, that's what it did. Wow, that's
So-
like very
So,
deliberate.
okay.
Yeah,
No,
cock
but
and balls,
like,
look at that.
think
Yep.
about
Imagine
it from
piloting the Empire State Building and like turning that into a rocket and then making a penis shape in the air. It's just like that's the scale of what we're talking about.
And imagine you're the guy and you do this. You do this in the water.
I want to meet this
Oh
guy.
God! Oh my fucking God! Look at that thing. And then you get stuck, and then the world finds out.
It's like he's doing this all like everybody's doing this all the time, and then and there's just one. They found out there's one guy who did it, and they're like, "Oh no, they're gonna find out." They're gonna.
He's in like a club or something.
It's like there's this website.
It's
This is
a
the
secret
website,
of
the
the
vessel
trade.
finder website. Like looking at all of the different like routes of the ships. Like
Oh God, Joe's typing in the
Oh, what the fuck, man? Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
But
But
what-
wanted us to know that he already knew about this. Great.
Taking a
Sorry, go
sabbatical,
ahead.
supposedly.
Did Joe give us a list of news items that he wanted to cover?
Yeah.
He
this
gave
is
us
the
3
first one.
very vague things.
With the next vague thing being the Amazon unionization and the Twitter drama over the account that said, "Hey, you don't actually believe the thing about peeing in bottles." I don't really.
Right.
It's not much of a news. It's just kind of like it's Twitter
Oh
drama.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny.
Yeah.
Twitter doing things again.
The sort of scandal, I mean, because everybody knows that people piss in bottles. The scandalous aspect of it, I guess, is that Amazon's flagged their own tweets because it was such a bad attempt at covering their asses that they basically either claimed or pretended to have possibly been hacked.
Yep.
Just to cover their asses. That's great.
I mean, ostensibly, no, but in reality, yes.
But they wouldn't release that information if they didn't think it would help them in some way or muddy the waters a little bit.
I don't know. I think they just throw shit at the wall until some sticks.
They let one of their kids borrow the laptop when they were still logged into Twitter, and just chaos.
Yeah, someone could have just used the main Amazon account to tweet butt penis,
Dick
And then-
balls.
and then it would make it more believable, I think.
Just Amazon doing Amazon stuff again.
Thinking of a corporation having a social media contingency plan where they start to do deliberately fucked up tweets in the middle of a really serious but insane tweet that they actually mean just to say that they were hacked, it makes me laugh. Jesse, thank you for thinking of that.
My pleasure.
You're welcome.
So how did the unionization effort go? I'm trying to find that out now.
I think they're voting on it soon. But yeah, Amazon is pulling out all the stops to try to prevent that from happening.
Yep. I'm still reading the article about the drivers peeing in bottles. Apparently, some of them are pooping in bags also.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just making jankum at work.
Yep. Gotta do something.
That's the kind of shit that makes me continue to not want to buy anything from online.
Yeah.
As if me not buying one thing online a month will actually have any impact on that. But
I have an Amazon Prime subscription, but I've participated in every boycott whenever it called.
nice.
I'm pretty sure the Suez Canal debacle is the reason that I ordered a chair, because I've been using a chair that Carlene just found.
Hell yeah.
Because it's fucking Alston. I mean,
Alston Christmas.
Free
hell
again.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's been fucking up my back for 6 months. So I figure it's time to get a real chair. But yeah, the FedEx tracking data just said information received. And that was March 19th.
Your chair's stuck on a fucking boat. It just says that one day.
Is it what part of your back is messed up? Is it the lower back or the upper back?
Whatever part gives me migraines.
Oh,
The migraine part.
the brain of the back.
Yes, it is known.
My neck was feeling pretty fucked up too, and then at the beginning of February, I visited my parents, and then they have so much stuff, and I'm still getting myself situated as an independent adult. So I just asked, I'm hey mom, can I have this? And she's oh of course, to just take everything because she too tired to get rid of all of her stuff. But is this kind of ergonomic pillow? I was skeptical at first, but I was well, maybe this will help me because my neck really fucking hurts. And you know what? In a week, my neck felt so much better. And it's wow, this is incredible. And then I slept on a hotel pillow for one night, and then it got screwed up again. And then I was how did I focus before I got this special pillow? Because I can't focus with this pain. It was terrible. But I don't know. I'd recommend also investing in pillows. Pillows important.
I think necks were a bad idea.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, they were. It's like noses. It's human noses are stupid because
What?
compared to primate noses, our noses are really prone to being to not draining well and getting less sinus infections, I think, because of just how they're designed. Our noses are just stupid. They're just bad.
That's
They're
true.
actively worse
Stupid
than what
human
came
noses.
before.
That's actually
Wait.
true.
The stupid
But I
human
thought,
nose. That's a good band name.
I thought
Wait, what?
human noses were they evolved to help, I guess, assist humans in breathing through different climates or like different
Oh yeah,
humidity levels or something like that.
maybe that might be part of it. Yeah. I'm sure there's like pros and cons, and like certain things were like, okay, yeah, that's a more important pro. It like outweighs the cons, but like,
Interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they're stupid.
Not a lot of other animals have in history evolved in one place and then been like, let's walk away from this place and keep walking for many, many thousands of miles until we end up somewhere else, and then we'll live there.
Fuck that, I like the beach.
we became bipedal a gajillion years ago, but our bodies are still not totally equipped to handle it.
Apes don't have back pain apparently, or like maybe not as much.
Damn it.
Yeah, they also don't have like
Also, I think it was more
jobs.
like a million years ago, but that's fine.
I know, a gajillion is a technical term.
Yes.
What do we have, Jesse?
Huh? Oh, I just said apes don't have jobs.
Yeah.
That's true.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
it.
who's really the king of the jungle? I don't know.
Oh, hey.
Hey ho.
Guys, don't have a
not-
job.
Not a good one.
I don't get
Yeah.
it.
And the last story that Joe wanted us to talk about is that the CDC director is telling everybody,
Hold off, don't open so quick. COVID still is around, and
I mean, I have opinions on this. I feel like now that we live in a world with a vaccine, it's kind of no stopping the march
Yeah.
towards reopening everything. So I'm sorry. Capitalism wins again. People are gonna die. It sucks.
Yep.
I got the first Moderna dose on Friday.
Oh,
Nice.
But I'm still obviously like wearing my mask, staying home. Like I'm doing all the same things, but I'm now 85% immune, I guess. I don't know.
I'm still unclear. Like, I've been trying to figure this out, and I've been Googling this, and I'm like, once you get the vaccine, you're mostly immune. But then also, like, nobody has written anything yet that's convinced me that you can't still pick it up from somebody and then, like, give it to somebody else who's not vaccinated.
Oh no, you
Yeah,
can
it's
certainly
Right, yeah,
you
that's
can
one of the
certainly
big
be
issues,
a
yeah.
carrier. Yeah.
Yeah, so you still got to wear a mask and everything unless you're with somebody who's also vaccinated. But
Yeah.
masks are cool.
you have cool masks. I just wear KN95s all day.
I just think masks are cool in general, but like, whatever.
You can make them move.
Yeah, this whole mask thing is good for the left, I think,
Yeah, normalized, making it hard to identify you. Fuck yeah.
Well, I mean, before the COVID shit really popped off, there was like anti-mask legislation
Oh yeah,
going
that's
around in
right.
Boston, and it kind of quashed that.
Popping off. Well, one of the
Yeah, thanks, COVID.
few positives in this pandemic that has killed.
Well, if there was no COVID, I
Million
would have never
people.
met any of you.
Yeah, there's two
Yeah.
positives. One,
Let's
it's metal.
Just,
It's
I'm the
metal,
most
it's
let's not
important
go
drugs.
down
person.
that existential hallway, guys. There's a lot that has happened in my life, so let's not do that.
Yeah, my friendships are the most important thing. I don't care about the millions of people that have died. Anyway.
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of selfish because, like, I would like communism because my friends would have more free time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with COVID, though? But I mean, I agree.
I would like
All right,
to
I'm
know.
sorry.
Well, I think that was all of the news shit.
I mean,
this-
also Matt Gaetz is like a creepy dude. The Florida, is he a senator? What the fuck is he? You know that guy?
no,
No.
Oh, fuck, come on.
Matt Gaetz.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that the
he's
guy
a-
with
he's
the
not the
fake
one that-
son?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh wow,
He's not the guy that fought the other guy.
The guy who fought the other guy.
The body slam guy.
Maybe like there was some debacle in like either the Senate or the House of Representatives. Somebody was like something. It was months ago. I don't remember. I can't remember all of the creepy men. There's too many of them.
Yeah, he's under investigation over possible
many.
sex trafficking, sexual misconduct, possible relationship with teen girl. That's just what I'm
Breaking
looking at here.
news, baby.
That's what happens when you Google him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Florida guys.
So
Wait,
he's
so
a
who-
sex pervert.
Who body slammed the reporter then?
Oh,
Oh, that was like
that
the
other guy. Sorry, that's
yeah.
not helpful at all.
the guy who body slammed, wasn't he from like Indiana or some shit?
I'm
He's
just
not.
Googling it right now.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Greg Gianforte.
What state?
He's
Montana.
from
Yeah, I knew it was one of those states.
He's from hold on.
He's from
Montana.
Montana, where men are men and sheep are nervous.
Fuck. No, he's from the state of fuck. Notice
Yes.
Montana.
Fuck. He's from, yeah.
All right.
Oh god. Yeah, that guy. I remember reading about that and just like getting a general vibe of like, yeah, there you go. Fist
Congress fist fight, baby.
No, this is the fight that I was referring to. It was a different one. There's a lot of fights.
Apparently we got a
Senate's
bunch of
warming up.
guys just waving their dicks around in Congress, trying to beat each other up.
Beating each other up with their dicks?
Yes.
Waving each other's dicks, trying to beat each other off. Jeez.
I would like to watch that. It sounds like fencing.
I wish we could go back to like ancient Greece and like.
And I thought Congress was already a circle jerk.
Oh no! In ancient Greece, they literally had like, "Hey, I need to tell you about like the giant penises in like Greek plays." Okay.
What?
Like giant like.
They literally would
attention.
In the comedy plays, they would literally like the dudes would wear like giant floppy dicks.
Oh yeah,
I think I could be wrong about this, but I think it was like an Athenian social norm, like having a small dick was like enviable or something. Let me look this up.
Yeah, like they
right,
like little dicks were in. They were the thing of the time.
Yeah, I think so. Also,
his big dicks. Okay, how many? It's like
good
one.
All right, good lord.
Non-board result and a whole bunch of results.
I love that the first porn result just ends with a period. It's like very formal.
Yeah.
A huge
tells
Greek
you what it is.
talk on webcam.
Well, I mean, I did find that it's relevant to what I was trying to say.
Yes.
I took a class in my freshman year of uni. I took a class about ancient Greek literature, and I literally had to write an essay in the final exam about how about what the symbolism of the big dicks meant. I could find my notes somewhere if I felt like it.
That's awesome. I would read that.
Same, yeah. Pass them over.
Find it, share. Put it online. We'll link to it in the episode description.
Just scan the pages.
I mean, I don't have myself my final exam. I just have I don't have that. Obviously, it's I definitely have notes somewhere talking about whatever. But yeah,
you're gonna tell me who your professor was, and I'll just send him an email, be like, "Dear Professor, whoever you are, please."
Can you please send my final exam from over 4 years ago to me in the U.S. from
final exam from 2000 whenever.
Big floppy Greek dick. Sound familiar?
No, this is the kind of thing. Also, I mean, that probably was less concerning to him. I was I was very enthusiastic, and I wish I kind of done more of that because then I went into just computer science stuff, whatever. But then I was really excited. I was like, please, instead of writing about a single Greek tragedy for the final essay, can I write about the whole entire the only complete trilogy we have, which is called the Oresteia? Can I please write about the whole thing? I cornered him after class. He was like, okay, that sounds great. I just laughed. I should go back and look at some of that stuff. It was cool. It's good shit. Anyway.
Good shit. What a weird little tangent that was.
Well, you talk about throwing the dicks around. I was like,
yeah, we were
You know what?
The conversation had already taken us to talking about small dick Athens guys. So I mean,
you're right, guys. I'm sorry.
Joe's probably very glad he's not on this week.
I get to share so many interesting facts I have. This is great.
Be asleep. Better be sleeping. Oh.
I need a baby monitor for Joe.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know what he sounds like when he's sleeping.
Really? That's a very specific.
No, why would I
not want to know?
It's just so we can be sure. We gotta be responsible.
Jesse can be in charge of it. Yeah, you can just give us updates. Is he snoring?
All right.
Speaking of Jesse, you got to do the Rabid.
I do. I have a Rabid Rablibs. It's 4/5 done. I didn't have time to finish the whole thing, but here it is. I'm Jesse, and this is a Rabid Rablib.
Howdy, Ray.
I always forget the keybind for. Aha, okay. I found it. I know where it is. Testing. Okay.
You sound great, baby.
Oh, thanks, Ton. So on Saturday, Carlene and I attended the Stop Asian Violence, Stop China Bashing rally, where we heard powerful speeches from members of the Answer Coalition, Boston South Asian Coalition, and Party for Socialism and Liberation. Some of the recurring themes that I picked up on are as follows. The conceptual reduction of vast and diverse Eastern cultures into an, quote, Asian monoculture, America's history of legislative discrimination against Chinese and Japanese immigrants, Asian Americans as the, quote, model minority, as inherently diligent, obedient, and subservient, the role of American mainstream media in fomenting anti-Asian, meaning anti-Chinese, anti-communist, and anti-Muslim sentiment, a duplicitous framing of China's treatment of Uyghurs, the far-reaching influence of Maoist doctrine throughout the Eastern and Western world, and what seemed most important to me, Black and Asian solidarity in the face of American imperialism and white supremacy. So to expand on that, Asia is comprised of at least, it does depend on the source, 48 UN-recognized countries and a number of dependent territories. It is the largest continent on Earth by several metrics, accounting for 30% of global land area, nearly 45 million square kilometers, and approximately 60% of the global population, which is 4.5 billion people. This diverse region is home to thousands of spoken languages and adherents to all major religions, as well as many folk religions, from shamanism to Shinto. Its continental economy is also the largest and fastest growing economy in the world. Americans nonetheless tend to profile Asian Americans as a single group. The small fraction of Eastern culture to which we are exposed consists mostly of absurd capitalistic ventures, e.g. K-pop videos. That's going to be controversial. Kooky Japanese vending machines full of toilet paper and strawberry-flavored cocktail wieners. Or the portrayal of nations like China and North Korea as some kind of hive-minded cancer. I get sick to my stomach with disdain for news outlets such as The Economist, with over 100 pages of articles critical of China, which you can look at yourself at www.economist.com/China. They do have a paywall, which doesn't surprise me. Some headlines spin China's humanistic policies as the Communist Party's attempt to control, censor, and oppress. This article, for example, on China's committed effort to eradicate poverty, I have the link in my notes, but this article in my notes features a graphic of faceless people erecting a sickle and hammer monument. Some of the content seeks to serve the capitalist class very blatantly, as, for instance, an article lambasting extremely popular anti-corruption measures with the byline, quote, corruption is extremely bad, but once emboldened Chinese power holders to take useful risks. I also have the link for that. I can put these in the show notes. Perhaps the most dangerous narratives are those articles which paint China as an aggressive military threat, along with Russia and North Korea. Now, these same outlets are expressing confusion over the increase in hate crimes against Asian Americans. Wonder why that could be. Maybe it also has something to do with the fact that fucking Biden ran to the right of Donald Trump on foreign policy with China.
Yeah, he did.
Along a similar vein, news outlets across the political spectrum are harshly critical of China's detainment of Uyghur Muslims. I am not interested in debating the validity of these claims, and I am not interested in defending imprisonment. I'm going to relay the message that I heard on Saturday, and that is, the loudest announcements against China for their treatment of Uyghurs are coming from politicians who themselves are culpable for the American war on Islam. As Americans, with this much blood on our hands, and with American-based corporations benefiting the most from the labor of Uyghurs, we should be extremely skeptical of the motives behind the criticism of China's so-called re-education facilities. This topic is extremely divisive on the American left, but I am willing to be called a tanky by some Vosh-standing dipshit if I can posit that China shaped its policies as a response to our own policies, which we find fundamentally immoral. Before I lose all of my credibility, I'd like to touch on the shared struggles against American hegemony. This message seemed to predominate over the rest at Saturday's rally. Maoism, or Marxism-Leninism Maoism, asserts that the revolution must be led by the peasantry, the caste at the bottom of the socio-economic hierarchy. It has served as the liberatory framework for many communist organizations throughout the last century, from the Communist Party of Indonesia, which, by the way, was snuffed out essentially overnight. It was probably the largest genocide of communists in fucking history. That's a whole other thing I could go into, but
Is that the one in 1966?
there was the Jakarta. I'm currently still using the Jakarta method as my mousepad, and I need to fucking read it because I'm sure there's a lot of very disturbing but important information in that book.
It would have been funny if you just said, I am still using the Jakarta method, and then stopped there and then didn't explain.
Well, I mean, in reality, like, it's a big book. I don't know if I can get through it. I'm going to try.
Oh, I thought you meant it was like a mouse pad with the Jakarta method
No,
conveniently summarized on it.
No, it's a real book.
Okay.
Vincent Bevins, buy it, read it, tell me what it's about. All right, so again, Maoism or Marxism-Leninism Maoism has served as a liberatory framework for many communist organizations throughout the last century, from the Communist Party of Indonesia to the New People's Army of the Philippines, and of course the Black Panther Party of the United States. The original Rainbow Coalition, headed by Fred Hampton, consisted of Black, Latinx, Asian, and Indigenous Americans, as well as young white socialists, all fighting in tandem against the ruling class of this country. And that was where my note stopped, but I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this anti-Asian sentiment is forever enshrined in our legislative history with both the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 and the Asian Exclusion Act of 1924. So there can be no question about whether or not this is a part of the American consciousness. It is very much part of the American consciousness. And it might be coming in waves. It might be sort of a more seemingly overt now, especially, in the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests that we've seen over the past few years. But I think in reality, some of the speakers talked about the dehumanization of Asians using this sort of model minority language, and it was eye-opening for me personally. I hadn't heard that particular term before for whatever reason, but basically just putting this expectation on Asian Americans that they would be like, law-abiding citizens and sort of be able to be held up as like, an example of a minority population that doesn't rebel or fight for its own liberation. And it's like disgusting. It's dehumanizing. It's treating an entire continent of people like dogs.
Worse than dogs, because dogs get taken to the groomers and fed popsicles and made little sweaters for them.
Anyway, I stand in solidarity.
Dog sweaters and dog popsicles.
I stand in solidarity with Asian Americans and Black Americans and all of our other comrades because, this is some fascist shit that's happening right now. And that is it from me.
Rabid Rablibs. Jesus Christ, I legitimately couldn't remember the name for a second. Woo! So,
are we ready for something that we can't let go?
Sure.
Yeah.
As luck would have it, we just decided to start feeding our cats earlier, so I'm gonna just start it while I'm feeding the cats, and hopefully that will be fine. Hang on.
Those beasts.
Hold on, I'm gonna switch to my phone.
I have an update, by the way, pertaining to cats. It's not like whatever. I'll give it a breaking news sound drop in post. Smudge got in my lap today.
Aww.
It's very touching behavior coming from a feral cat who mere months ago did not know how to interact with me without doing bunny kicks.
Really cute, though.
She's so strange. I love her.
Yeah, she's fucking weird, but I love her too. She's so cute.
You got her little face. Little weird face. Okay.
You can make this shit up with
I wanted to start this on a little bit of a tangent before I share the actual thing, but I'll try to like not let it turn into a Hava tangent. There's some relevant background.
If anything, is this show, if not tangents.
Pretty much. Anyway, Josh and I watched the Queen's Gambit this week, on Netflix, and it is very good. And I'm not gonna steal Scott's segment, but
I think it's all right. I've already recommended it, by the way. So
that's true. You have. I didn't know it was about chess, and a lot of other people. I think maybe even you, Scott, said that you saw the title. You thought it was about like some show about queens and shit. Because we love shows about royalty for some reason, and
Because we're
Fucking dorks.
This is why.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you do. I don't. I ain't never watched No Downton Abbey or The Crown. I ain't my shit. No.
I'll confess, I've watched Downton Abbey and I liked it, but that was the whole thing. That show's not just about the lords and whatever; it's also about the actual people that work for them. Anyway, so we watched The Queen's Gambit. It's about chess. It reminded me of another piece of work art. I don't know. Another fictional thing that is about chess, which I've never actually seen, but I just sort of delight in its existence, which is the musical Chess from the 80s. The music was written by two of the guys from ABBA, and if you have never heard the song or seen the video for one of the songs from that musical, which is called One Night in Bangkok, it's just like one of those things where like it exists and I'm amazed because it's this first of all, the character who is singing the song is, I think he's basically the main character. He's like an American chess master, but he's played by this guy Murray Head, who is British, and Murray Head does not do a perfect job of maintaining an American accent or like a realistic American accent throughout the whole thing, which is really funny. And the whole gist of the song is he's in Bangkok for like a chess tournament or championship thing because he's like like a grandmaster or some shit. And the whole song, he's sort of pursued by this chorus. It's almost like Grecian chorus of people, but it's like an 80s. I don't know how to describe the style of the song. It's not it's not like an old fashioned musical song. It's an 80s song. He's just walking around being like,
I'm in this city where there's,
the whole chorus is like, hey, why not like indulge yourself with all the shit that Bangkok has to offer, because it's clearly like, definitely now and probably even in the 80s was like a city where you go to Bangkok, you could like get a happy ending massage or like rent some ladyboys or whatever, like having all this fun. And he's just, the whole song is him just being like,
no,
there's like literally a line where he says,
I get my kicks above the waistline, sunshine.
And he's literally just singing about how like,
This is fucking insane.
It's insane. Yeah, he just cares about, he's like,
I just care about chess. Like, I don't.
It's hilarious. Everybody should watch that video at some point.
Like, I don't just mean this song, but this whole thing is fucking insane. Like, I'm on the Wikipedia and I'm just like,
yeah.
Wow.
This is what I was
What
thinking.
in the fuck? How does this exist? This is insane.
This description reminds me of that advertisement for a roller rink with like the employees of the roller rink pretending to be gang members, and they're like, "Hey kids, do you want to do drugs?" And they're like, "No, we want to rollerblade."
Can you find that? And
I'll put it in the chat. Yeah,
please do. Yeah, that sounds great.
No,
so before this musical even existed, there was these two guys from ABBA and the other producers.
This song is fucking awful.
It's pretty bad. They made a whole concept album before the musical actually got made, and I was listening to the whole concept album before the show. It's pretty amazing. Like, every other song is like old-fashioned, like Gilbert and Sullivan shit, and then it becomes like, oh, the guy who's like the arbiter or the referee guy for the chess matches gets his own song, and it's like a Peter Gabriel song about how he's the arbiter and he's gonna watch you and he's not gonna let you play any weird moves. I don't know. Anyway, that exists and it's beautiful and you can't make that up. But the actual thing that you can't make up that I wanted to share this week is another chess related thing, which I have to credit Josh because Josh found this and he sent it to me. And
Josh,
yeah,
chess freaks.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a true story that just happened in Indonesia. Did you see? Nobody probably saw this because it's on.
This. But like, are you into chess now because of that show?
No, I fucking hate chess. My dad tried to get me into it when I was a kid, and is one
Is
of the.
Josh into chess now? Or were they previously?
He said he sort of used to be into it, but never got really into it. But he pulled out all his like chessboards that he has.
That counts. That fucking counts in my book.
Yeah. There's actually I'm holding a little chess
every
clock.
weirdo got fucking interested in chess after watching that show, and it was like, that's not even the point of the show. It's not, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, the chess is not even...
Whatever.
The great part about that show is that you don't have to know shit about chess to understand the story, because they did a good job telling the story in such a way that it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so what happened recently, this takes place mostly in Indonesia, or actually I guess just on the internet. There is a guy who is, I think he's a Twitch streamer named Rosman. What's his first name? Does it even say? I don't know.
Oh man.
Levi?
I think so. Where did you see? I read this like 10 minutes ago, and
It's
I
in
can't
the
find his name.
description for the thing you shared.
Oh, you're right. Okay, this guy's name is Levi Rosman. He's an international master. Rosman. And on March 2nd, he played a game on chess.com, an online chess game against this other guy who I believe is an Indonesian guy. And he got kind of suspicious about this Indonesian guy because he did things like he almost always spent 10 seconds making his moves, even when the like choice of move was really obvious. And he did a bunch of stuff that made it look like he was using a bot, like a chess engine, to play the game. And this guy Rosman figured out that this Indonesian guy, his real name is, Dadang Subur, but he goes by Dewa Kipas for some reason. So Levi Rosman was like, I think that Dewa Kipas is cheating. So he reported Dewa Kipas' account to chess.com, and chess.com like closed this guy's account for violating their policies. But then this Indonesian guy's son, his name is Ali Akbar, he started protesting this. He like posted a message on Facebook to all his followers, but I guess he has a whole bunch of followers, being like, my dad is a strong player and this was unfair. I guess he said that Levi Rosman's fans had like mass reported.
My dad works at Nintendo.
Guy made a new account as his son.
That's I think it's actually his son. I mean, that would make sense, right? I don't know. I mean, like, God only knows what happened, really. But this post went viral. And then, like, all these Indonesian people started sending Levi Rosman Instagram messages, Twitter messages, YouTube messages, being real mean to him, and including death threats. They're, like, sending him death threats about this. Even though, as Levi Rosman explained, he doesn't have any influence over the chess.com banning process. But he got so many messages and death threats and shit that he, like, had to lock his social media accounts for a while. But then, I guess this woman, Irene Sikandar, who is also Indonesian, she's like an international master and a women's grandmaster or something. So she has all of these crazy chess titles also.
Let's talk about chess, baby.
Yeah, she went on some other chess podcast and talked about all this data on this guy's games that the Indonesian Chess Federation had collected. And she sort of explained the whole story to, I guess this podcast was maybe not a chess playing podcast. Hold on, I'm just going to double check. No, that's definitely a chess podcast. Okay, anyway, I guess he has maybe some... Anyway, she wanted to, like, explain to people that didn't really understand chess or follow chess why it was thought that this guy was cheating.
This is also insane.
I know. And the host of this podcast, Gabriel, suggested that this guy, Dewa Kipas or Suber or whatever his name is, should play Irene Sikandar, like, in person in a chess match. And he issued a challenge, I guess, on his podcast or whatever. And then...
Do it.
Yeah, and this guy accepted, which apparently was surprising.
That's awesome.
Do it.
Apparently he had declined earlier challenges against other grandmaster named Susanto Megaranto, international master Andres Novita. He had been like, no, I don't want to play those people. But he accepted this. So they were like, all right, let's do this. So basically, this guy, Subur, or Dewa Kipas, he showed up on this podcast of the guy that challenged him to play this woman. And he, like, played a literal visual game of chess there in their studio. And not only that, there's this Indonesian company called Tokopedia, which like sponsored the game, and they were like, here, have like $10,000 for prize money. And some Indonesian businessman named Indra Kusuma doubled that, so they like threw all this money at these guys. And what do you guys think happened?
The chessboard erupted into flame, and everybody in the studio died.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what happened. No. Nah, she just wiped the floor with him. They played 3 games.
Use his hair as the broom.
You just got chest to
bye.
The fucking.
Yep, they played 3 games, I guess, and he lost all 3 of them. But apparently,
all 3. What a piece of shit this man is.
But apparently, there's some.
Bye. Go home to mommy.
It's not a total sad story though, because apparently the way that chess.com like rates your performance or something, I don't really understand this paragraph. They like rated his performance and her performance in these games and decided that he deserved $7,000 of this prize money. So good for him. Good for him. He was humiliated, but he got some dollars. And then if you understand chess, which I really don't very much, you can go on here and look at the moves that were made in this game, I guess. Anyway, yeah, that's some shit you can't make up. Niche drama for you.
I'm chessed out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We're gonna have to declare a moratorium on chess from this podcast for at least 2 weeks.
I'm gonna pretend that the result was that the chessboard went up in flame and everybody in the studio died.
Yeah.
It's played chess too fast. It's just too fast. It's not designed. It's just not designed for it. So funny. I don't get it.
Anyway.
I was also not paying attention during most of that. I'm rolling around it.
It was perfect.
Thank you. I totally lost it partway through, and then I was like, I don't know where I am now. I don't know how to get back on track. I'll just wait for an opening and say something.
Yeah, I mean, I had to like make sure I read this article a couple times pretty carefully before. It's pretty
niche drama is
actually
cool,
yeah,
though.
you're right. No more esoteric stories about chess for at least 2 weeks. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Jesse, I hope that you will insert at least a short clip of One Night in Bangkok somewhere in this segment because it's beautiful.
Roller rink ad in there.
Oh yeah, good.
Hey kid, would you like some drugs?
I want to be addicted to roller skating, not crack.
Speaking of things that are worth a watch,
that's not a good transition.
Fuck you, motherfucker. All right, whatever.
Fight you.
I'm kidding. I love you.
I love you.
Yeah. Honestly, who cares? You should watch.
Comrade Scott tells you what to watch.
I'm getting terrible at these recommendations. You should watch the 2014 Godzilla. I watched it last night. It's a very good film. I like it. It's about climate change. It's a very clear and very sober metaphor. It's about how like the monsters are really like the stars of the movie. I read a review that said, imagine if a Godzilla movie was made by Godzillas from the human perspective, and that's kind of the best way to describe it. And I wish I had come up with that myself. It's really great. It has some really epic sequences. All the other movies in the MonsterVerse are not good. But hey, Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be good. Oh my god.
Yep. MonsterVerse.
What is the MonsterVerse? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
It's the new Godzilla movie, the Kong Skull Island, and then the soon-to-be Godzilla versus Kong movie, and also Godzilla King of the Monsters, which doesn't really, it's not the movie.
I think I'm mixed up with the universe with like
the
Dracula
universe.
and Frankenstein.
The Dark Universe. They put
yeah. For some reason, I was like, is King Kong gonna fight Dracula?
Incredible though. Oh my god. Look, we just
it's where all the Halloween themed cereal comes from.
Dude, but seriously. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah. Hey, we've been talking for like 90 minutes. Both our bots have stayed. That's impressive.
It is. I'm almost tempted to just tell them to leave just so that they can come back.
No, we don't have your bot.
We have our own technical problems.
We have a very special, amazing guest who goes by the name of Comrade Binx.
Yes. Thank you.
And
yeah, Jesse, where are you going with this?
I don't know. I thought I was just concerned that you thought that you forgot about that.
Oh, no, I actually I have.
No, I was concerned that Scott forgot about it.
I didn't know.
No.
Did you forget about me, Scott?
No, I didn't. Wow, Jesse, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for creating tension, bro. No, I didn't forget about anybody. I was gonna, have them go after me because I always go first with the exit because that's just. Okay. But you know what? This is perfect too. Do it, Jesse. Do it.
Yeah. Speak to us. Tell us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind going last. Like that's totally cool. This is like I don't know, getting used to everything, but
yeah. Set an example for the people to follow. It's fine, Jesse.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, I think Scott thinks that you're trying to have, start outros, but didn't you have some stuff you were going to talk about, Binx?
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yeah, that's... Okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping was happening.
Okay, great.
Wait, no, that wasn't an outro, right?
No.
Oh, okay, I was like, oh shit, that is so awkward.
I thought Jesse was going to introduce, you to talk about whatever you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to, but then I realized I didn't have any, I don't remember, the particular content of the bills, so...
And there have been episodes where I've said about... Yeah, I thought it was the outro, but then, hey, we've had more.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So I just I chose to just deflect to you so that I wouldn't look as bad as I actually am. So
this is wonderful. No, I'm so glad to be here. But yeah, I could just
I'm gonna mute myself. All right.
We need somebody who's more familiar with the bills because, as discussed in a previous episode, we struggle with bill names that have more than two numbers.
Too many fucking numbers, yo.
I can remember the HD or the HB, but that's it.
Well, that's okay. I will specifically talk about one this evening, and we can get to some more in the future if y'all are into that. But there's one in particular that I feel comfortable talking about now because there is some kind of action, I guess, around it. It is HD 3313, also an act establishing a rearrange relief fund. I don't know how to say that word, but essentially it's also known as Utility Relief for All, which will establish a fund to relieve all gas and electric utility debt accrued since the start of the pandemic. So that bill was filed by Representative Erica Eiderhoven of 27th Middlesex. And yeah, it seems like there's been quite a bit of action as far as other... I don't know if anybody's actually... Oh, shit. co-signed it yet. But I know that right now it's, I guess, considered a placeholder bill as it's kind of being reviewed. Some of the language needs to be finalized before it moves along, I guess. Anyway, so but the reason why this bill is important is because approximately 1 in 5 households in the Commonwealth owe over about $2,000 on their gas and electric bills. And there's currently a memorandum on like people not facing shutoffs until the beginning of July. But this bill is kind of emphasizing the fact that like people's debt is not just going to like go away, before July. Like this is like a real systematic issue, and like people need relief, And so the way that relief would be achieved is through an imposed fee on greenhouse gas emissions from energy companies. So it's basically like,
Yes,
hey, fuck you.
that.
What?
I said yes, I support that.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So I guess right now where people are at as far as like organizing around it, it's just a lot of like trying to make people aware that this exists and that eventually will, move forth and need co-sponsors. And that's kind of where a lot of this organizing is happening, is like planning on like, who do we speak to? Who do we reach out to? Make sure that people in the State House are sponsoring it and like pushing it forward. So
what's the number of the bill again?
It is HD 3313.
3313, yo. Email and call your fucking representative and tell them,
hey, HD 3313. That shit needs to go. That shit's past that shit.
No, we love it. Come on.
pass
Pass that shit.
I can remember that.
We love it. 3 numbers.
Yeah.
I mean 4. But really
1,
2.
3.
Yeah, it's really just 2 numbers. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Easy for
yeah.
us.
Hell yeah.
We got this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jesus. Yeah, so that was really that's all I have for now to present to y'all in a kind of a formal way, but you talk about other things too. Yeah,
hell yeah.
What's it like, such as?
Binx, how do you stay abreast of the current bills and such?
well, that one specifically I found out about through this statewide group, Take Back the Grid, which is Boston DSA and Cape Cod DSA and like multiple other DSAs within the state. They have people from like, I guess, who meet and discuss these kinds of things that affect people, specifically like around utilities and stuff like that affect people statewide. So that group I've been like kind of involved with, and so that's how I found out about that one. There were other 2 that I was going to talk about, but I need to do a little more reading on them just so that I actually feel confident in what I'm saying. But I found out about those because there's an organization like Black and Pink Massachusetts. They work with people who are incarcerated, and like specifically LGBTQ plus people who are incarcerated. And so like they posted something about these other bills that are happening that would ultimately decriminalize sex work in the state of Massachusetts. So So like I really just like I'm just super on Twitter, dude. Like I'm just so on Twitter. I just follow a bunch of shit. I just like, if I'm like, oh, this meeting looks interesting, I'm going to show up. I just show up, and then I'm like, oh, this is super dope. Yeah, I'll be on your podcast. Like that's where we are now, So
Hell yeah.
yeah. Also, like there's like I think a website where you could just like go malegislature.gov. And you can literally look up any bill under the sun. You can look up your representative and you can be like, what are they co-sponsoring? What are they like vetoing? What are they like, you can like see all that. You can see like all the bills and what they're about. The only thing that's complicated about them obviously is the jargon, but I'm a decent reader, so I can parse through the jargon pretty okay.
It's intentionally obscured a lot of the time because they will, whenever there's an amendment or whenever they refer to another bill, they don't include the text of the other bill. They just say like strike out this section and replace with this. And then they include the new stuff, but they don't actually include the old stuff. So you don't know what the fuck you're replacing. It's very, you gotta, like manually do the work. It's very confusing. So thank you for doing the work part.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I'll bring back some cool shit. Who knows?
What if they just had a git diff of all like the laws instead of doing shit like that? Diff's better because you can actually see like, oh, we're getting rid of this. It's like this thing goes from being there to not being there.
Okay, actually, can I just like butt in for a second? Because I find this like really fascinating. So the two other bills I was going to talk about, I guess I'll talk about one of them now briefly. Essentially, it's kind of, Jesse, what you're talking about. It's like within the bill itself, it's like, replace section 34A, of chapter of the governing laws of Massachusetts or whatever. And so you have to you have to go and look up like, okay, what is that exact section? Like, what is going on? A lot of what's being negotiated in these bills, especially the one about decriminalizing sex work, it's very much negotiating language. What do we mean when we say something, and what does that thing exist as in real life, and how is that materialized in real life? So it's like it's actually pretty fascinating to me. And like when we change the wording of something, we change how we perceive it, and so like it's just really fucking rad. And like I have to actually go and find the bill that I'm referring to, because it very much is like we need to change the language in our law, because the language itself enables people to do things that they shouldn't be doing. It's very interesting.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
The other one that I was talking about, I guess I can like briefly kind of, it's Bill HD 3761, and it's actually currently exists in the State House. It has, I think, 11 co-sponsors, and the presenter is Liz Miranda of 5th Suffolk. And essentially, so like when we're talking about like confusing shit, like, so section 1, it says, Section 53 of Chapter 272 of the General Laws, as appearing in the 2018 official edition, is hereby amended by striking out in lines 1 to 2 the words common night walkers, common street walkers, both male and female. So yeah, you do have to go back in and be like, oh shit, like what is that actually talking about? And like, again, what I was saying is like, when we use the words common night walkers, common street walkers, like that doesn't do anything for anyone, right? Like those are ideas, right? Like that's not like a person.
Sounds like a bird. Like
Sounds like
name of a bird species.
It sounds like an indie band.
Yeah, or that.
Common night walkers. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you legally operate under these like really vague caricaturizing things of like real human beings, So if you take that out, then it's like, okay, what the fuck are we actually talking about? You know what I'm saying? And like, essentially the bill itself is called an act to stop profiling transgender people and low-income women. So taking out the descriptor, like calling someone, common night walker, like what does that look like? How are we profiling people based on these ideas? It's really like, I don't know, it's really fucking
that is
crazy.
Actually awesome, because I have a colleague who doesn't really have like a well fleshed out political ideology per se, but is very well read in terms of law. And he used to go to the State House and basically talk to legislators to try and lobby for like different legislation. And he has a pretty storied history with law enforcement and everything. But we've had multiple conversations about like constitutionality and all this shit. And like the language itself is meaningless. It's the context that the language is in. So when I hear like freedom as it's written in the Constitution, for example, like I hear that as the freedom of the landowning white man. Mm-hmm. And the way that he is reading it is without any sort of context. And his argument is that he is completely invested in the Constitution as written, as if it was devoid of context. And like, I think sometimes as someone of the Marxist persuasion, I can I can read language into shit. I can pick apart things that anybody is saying and contextualize it in accordance with like how I assume they're contextualizing it in their head. And that's not always true. Like not everybody has a dialectical materialist lens that they look through. And like, that is just a fascinating notion of rewriting laws such that it reflects the material world rather than the preconceived notions that the legislators have and the context that they're operating in. That's very cool.
Yeah, for sure. And like when we change, that's the thing is like, dude, fuck, I could literally spend hours talking about how fucking rad this is, because it's like, I don't want to get super into it. I want to save it for later when I can actually talk about both to the fullest extent that I can. But there's definitely a portion in there about the punishment of the people who are profiled, the sex workers who are profiled. And a lot of it has to deal with the fact that like the way we incarcerate people right now, it's based on what we understand or what law enforcement understands as like biological sex, and it's like what once we can work towards deconstructing like what that even is, then eventually, I don't know. It's just like, dude, like we're out here trying to change language, because when you change linguistically what something is, then it's like it changes how it exists in the world. And I'm like, dude, fuck, that's nuts. Anyway,
got that Sapir Whorf hypothesis or whatever.
What's that?
I'm always talking about that shit.
Talk about it.
It's the thing. I don't know. It's basically just a formal hypothesis that states exactly what you just said, which is that like our realities and perceptions are defined by the language we use.
Yeah.
This is, I don't even know if I want to talk about this, because it's another one of those things where like you kind of get into the weeds quickly, but I like math. Like I have a lot of like really fucking weird niche interests. Like infectious disease is one of them. Cyclogenesis is another one. But like math sets, I should say like number series is more what I mean. But the basically forever debate in math is, does math exist? Or when we refer to things in math, are we referring to, like, is there such thing as a circle? Or are we all referring to this idea of a circle that only exists in our heads? Or is there like a circle with which we can prove like mathematical theorems? Like, is there a real world object that's a perfect or a near perfect rendition of the concept? And it's like kind of the same thing. It's like, never mind. Forget it.
No, that's super fucking cool.
Yeah, we should have Josh on and you guys can just talk about math for a while.
Like, I mean,
and I'll just get up and go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is it doesn't really matter either way. Man, is that an opinion you're allowed to have?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I think. Fuck. There's a name for that actually. That
Fuck
it's
your
like
math and fuck your perfect circle.
Well, it's cool because like we can infer so much about things. Just like if we have the data, we can basically predict the future of how things are going to happen to a degree. Aside from like the quantum state of stuff.
Now we're getting into that show devs.
But I mean, even that's a fucking debate. That's why I always ask people like, which interpretation of quantum physics do you prefer? Because there's so many fucking interpretations. Like,
you always ask people that? You never asked me that.
Yeah, Jesse. My answer is the blue one.
The first thing you asked me.
All right.
Sorry, continue.
I'll show myself out.
No. I want to hear.
We need like a sound drop of like a cane yanking somebody off stage.
I wonder if that's like Jesse's like icebreaker question for every stranger he ever meets. It's like,
well, no, it's not.
It's a good question.
Sorry, Jesse.
Well, I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, it's super cool. Keep talking.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
It ties into like materialism because
yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say.
Is it that the universe is?
Ask it.
Is it that we don't have complete information, or is it that the information is inherently incomplete? Can we never know because it is not to be known, or will we never know because we are never capable of getting all the information that we need to know? Like, this was the thing that fucking Einstein called quantum entanglement, like, quote unquote, spooky action at a distance, because it would require that, like, particles can somehow communicate with each other faster than the speed of light, which his own theory of general relativity would prohibit.
Yeah.
So, like, is there shit that particles know that we don't know, that we can't know? Like, Zizek talks about it like when God is caught with his pants down because he fucking sexualizes everything.
Is this a fucking Zizek thing? Yeah.
That's a big God dick. Look at that thing.
Love that.
Maybe God has a small dick. Maybe the Athenians were right.
Probably were.
Anyways, that's we've
yeah.
I have to edit this at some point, and I'm
loving it. I really.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like Hava and Scott talked about this shit on the Interstellar episode of the movie.
I'm rather lost, actually.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Actually.
Where can we find you?
Jesse, say something.
Something.
Oh, baby. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine. I guess we're going to wrap up the episode there. Is everybody
Wrap it
okay?
up.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Everyone is in agreement. You love to hear it. Yeah, I'm Scott. You can find me on the interwebs at Sweaty Wife on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. I'm also on Instagram at Sweaty Wife. I'm on Twitter at Death Mullet. Yeah, Binx, you should go, as you are our newest arrival.
Okay. So I just say like my name and where you can find me, and that's it.
If you'd like to share, yes, you can just say.
Okay.
Most half of our hosts, I guess, whatever. They say you can't. It's fine. They disclose. They withhold where you can find them. It's fine.
You have the right to self-determination.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, my name is Binx. You can find me on Twitter at Beanarucci Perino, and then I have a website. You can look at my poetry and things. Also, beanarucciperino.com. That's it. How does this work? Do I pass it along to someone else?
The baton.
Okay, Ellie.
I'm Ellie. Let's say you're looking at it in terms of where you can find me, but you're not looking at it. I mean, maybe you are.
You're hearing at it.
You're hearing at it.
You're looking at like the website or the
app. Maybe you're looking at an app. You're probably looking at something else though. You're probably doing your dishes or walking your dog or whatever.
Probably
I don't know.
Walking your dishes.
Walking your dishes, doing your dog. Don't do that.
Washing your dog?
Fuck.
I mean, that works too.
We
fine.
hope the dog consents. Please
Yeah,
tell me the dog consents.
If you gave the dog those buttons that it can step on to tell you what it wants, and you said, "Hey, okay, I'm not even gonna finish this joke." Sarah, go.
I'm Sarah. And now we're done.
Yep.
No.
Oh wait, sorry. With me.
Yeah, we're done.
I'm Jesse. You can find my music on soundcloud.com/contingenceboston, CONTINGENCE, Boston. I'm working on a new song right now. I'm actually tracking lyrics for it and shit. And I don't know if I would say it's going to be a banger, but it's going to be heartfelt.
Heartfelt banger.
Also, navigate that browser. To open up your Netscape and navigate to www.comrade-rosie.org. I don't even think there's a www, just comrade-rosie.org. Click getting involved. Select one or more mutual aid groups to donate your time and or money and or labor to, because people really need your help right now. Love you.
What's that? A throbber. Your next hit is going to be a throbber.
It's going to be a throbber.
Massive dick. Yeah.
So, is my mic really loud?
Yeah, but it's fine. You haven't clipped once, so I don't know how the fuck you got it to do that, but I like it. It sounds good.
What do you mean it hasn't clipped?
You haven't been so loud that like you reach the audio threshold so that it makes like a
short circuits
so that it just sounds like static.
Yeah, I do that like 5 times an episode at least, I'm sure.
Does that happen to me, I think?
Yeah, usually when I look at the spectra, everybody clips a little bit, but I can just fix. I don't know. This is a conversation for another life.
Clip a little bit. I don't know.
This week's episode is definitely going to be a throbber, that's for sure.
The link that I put in the notes while we were finishing up, that wasn't even supposed to be on the podcast. You're saying that's going to be the title?
Just finishing off my throbber.
I'm going to polish it off.
Oh, come on, guys.
God.
Yes. Fucking hell. Yes, you can find the podcast on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm using the Twitter again. Hey, and on Facebook. It's all at Epic Incredulity. You can find us on YouTube at the same time also. But more importantly, we're on Patreon. We're trying to figure out what our next movie episode. Give us some money so I have the motivation to figure out what our next movie club episode is going to be, because I kind of let it slip. We'll get it.
Yeah, we have jobs, okay?
Yeah, I'm still on furlough, so.
All right, well, the rest of us have jobs, okay?
No.
I don't contribute to
Co-host
society.
What the fuck? All right, I have a job.
You have job.
I have job.
You are job.
You're a job man.
I am job.
Job
Is
man.
there a weird way of someone calling something a piece of work?
No,
I don't know. I'm trying to make puns in my brain. My brain is just a pun machine.
Of labor, yes. Creating content would be work because we would be paid for it, because technically it is labor. It takes out our time to do. So if we were in a better society, post-capitalist society, post-money society, we would be compensated for our time doing this work. Editing, especially Jesse, Jesus Christ, he does so much work. With whatever, what the essentials we need: food, companionship, all these things. What I mean is by someone comes over and you have dinner together. Now it means something fucking creepy. Jeez.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
God damn it! I'm trying to think bigger.
I have lost so
how we
thoroughly
live together in a communist society. God damn it. Anyways, go to Epic Incredulity on fucking Patreon, listen to some episodes, give us some money. We'll give you kisses. We'll love you.
We'll also give you extra content too. I don't know if that's been
because we're never going to be able to legally release those movie club episodes because it would just copyright out the ass. Because I put everything in there.
Copyrighted content.
Yes. Oh, baby. And like Jesse said, you should go to comrade-rosie.com, get involved with
.org.
Org, thank you. I'm an idiot. Woo! Comrade.
You're not an idiot.
Comrade.
Don't talk about yourself like that. Don't talk about my friend like that.
Stop talking about Scott that way.
Comrade-rosie.org, and you should get involved in a local, or just your local mutual aid, local unionizing effort, anything.
Do things.
Do things with your time. We have
something.
The pandemic's ending. You're going to get vaccinated. I know where that means you're going to go back to the busy life of capital bullshit, but hey.
It's almost beach season.
Things
it's almost demo season, yo. I'm going to be fucking out there.
Yeah.
Demo?
Demo season never really stops. But
what's that?
It does get cold though.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oh, demonstrate. Okay, I was like demolition.
If you go to a demo,
Scott, say the slogan.
Shit! You're right. Sometimes we say it, but every time we say it, but tankdo. I just dropped my lighter.
But tankdo.
Sweaty wife. Fuck
what?
Sweaty wife.
But tankdo.
But tankdo.
But tankdo.
I like the way you say
it.
This is your fucking
someday we will have merch and it will say but tankdo.
Oh fuck yeah!
An Epoch T-shirt.
Something I took
$5 on the Patreon someday, but tankdo.
I feel like I didn't do a very good job of explaining. I feel like by calling myself a tanky, when I was talking about the Uyghur shit, I feel like people are I don't understand what he said, but something about a tank. He probably thinks all that's a conspiracy theory, but that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that American legislators never gave a fuck about Muslims before, and now they're pretending to because it's China. You know what I mean?
Because it's sexy too.
Yeah, it's okay.
Different Muslims, apparently.
Yeah, not these Muslims.
Yeah, not the
Muslims
ones,
being oppressed
not the
by
ones
someone
that
who's
we
not
don't like.
us.
The ones that are over there. They're the good ones, but only those ones.
They haven't
Saw it
been
in real
liberated
time.
by the American whatever yet. That's why they are must free them, and it must be only we get to do bad things. The Muslims apparently.
Yes, American exceptionalism. That's the phrase.
Yeah, it's that, and it's like, oh wait, we still have children separated from their parents at our borders. Like we still have, like people like come on, make it make sense. Be consistent.
I think the other thing about it that's kind of weird is that none of the Islamic nations have a problem with it. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's because they're trying to curry favor with China or what. But, I don't have an answer for that yet. And until I have an answer for that, that's a thing that I'm going to keep plugging in the conversation because it's pretty weird.
Do you have an answer? Tweet at us.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Write us a letter on paper.
Because, it's fucking...
And send it to Jesse.
Because if the truth is just that, everybody, hates them, that's just fucked up. Why? They're people, too. You know what I mean? They're fucking people, too.
Yeah.
They just live in the desert. Let them live in the fucking desert if they want.
Yeah, you don't want that fucking desert. What's your deal?
You don't want to live there. Why would you? Yeah.
Aw, but we want their oil. Come on.
Oil. Wait a sec, Scott. Hit us with an animal on the soundboard.
Oh God!
The fuck was that?
Is that a whale?
Was that a banshee?
Is that a whale?
Some kind of
Whale.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
Got a mythical creature.
Yes.
Do you not
the
remember
mythical
Finding
creature
Nemo?
is the whale.
The whale noises?
Lord.